In the soft glow of a daycare nap time, a black teacher lay exhausted on the worn carpet, cradling a restless baby against her chest. Her eyes closed in fleeting rest, unaware of the shadow falling over them. A billionaire, sleek in his tailored suit, paused at the doorway, his sharp gaze locking on the scene. Whispers of judgment stirred in his mind. Why here? Why now? The air thickened with unspoken tension, her vulnerability exposed under his watchful eyes. Would he see fatigue or failure? As he stepped closer, the moment teetered on the edge of change. What would this powerful man do next? Her name was Lena, a 28-year-old daycare teacher whose passion for children had carried her through years of underpaid shifts and overlooked efforts. In a bustling urban center where colorful walls hid the cracks of inequality, Lena worked tirelessly at Little Stars Daycare. She'd grown up in a neighborhood where opportunities were scarce, her skin color often the unspoken barrier to better jobs. Despite her certification and glowing reviews from parents, promotions passed her by, given to less experienced white colleagues. The daycare owner cited fit issues, but Lena knew the truth. It was the subtle racism that lingered like a shadow. That afternoon, the baby in her arms was little Mia, a fussy toddler whose parents were both working double shifts. The other teachers had left for lunch, leaving Lena alone with a room full of napping children. Exhaustion from pulling extra hours without overtime pay weighed her down. She'd skipped her own break to soothe Mia, who only calmed when held close. With no cots for staff and strict rules against using child furniture, Lena had no choice but to settle on the floor, her body a makeshift cradle. The room hummed with the quiet breaths of sleeping kids, posters of alphabets and animals watching over them. Lena's thoughts drifted to her own dreams deferred, saving for college, escaping the cycle of low-wage work. She'd faced stares and slights before, like the parent who requested a different teacher for their child. But today, as she drifted into a light doze, she didn't notice the door creak open. The billionaire, Elijah Grant, had arrived unannounced to check on his niece, placed there temporarily. His world was one of boardrooms and luxury, far removed from this humble space. Curiosity pulled him in, but something deeper stirred as he observed Lena's quiet dedication amid her evident weariness. The contrast hit him, the invisible labor of those society overlooked. Tension built as he lingered, his presence unnoticed, the air charged with potential revelation. Lena's body ached from the hard floor, but Mia's steady breathing kept her anchored. She'd always poured her heart into her work, turning the daycare into a sanctuary for kids from struggling families like her own. Yet the injustices piled up, lower pay than her peers, extra duties without recognition, and the constant microaggressions that chipped at her spirit. Parents praised her warmth, but the owner dismissed her ideas, favoring suggestions from white staff. Lena had complained once, only to be labeled difficult, her hours cut as punishment. Today, with staffing short, she'd handled everything alone, her lunch forgotten in the chaos. As Mia finally settled, Lena allowed herself a moment's rest, her mind replaying the owner's earlier scolding for not managing time better. The billionaire, Elijah, stood frozen, his initial annoyance at the unconventional sight giving way to intrigue. He'd built his empire from nothing, but his success had blinded him to the struggles of those like Lena. Whispers from his past echoed. His own mother, a black housekeeper, overworked and undervalued. He'd vowed to rise above, but had he forgotten the cost? As he watched, Lena shifted slightly, her protective hold on Mia unwavering. Elijah's phone buzzed with business alerts, but he silenced it, drawn deeper into the scene. He noticed the threadbare carpet, the outdated toys, the signs of a facility stretched thin. Anger flickered, not at Lena, but at the system that forced her here. He recalled board meetings where diversity was a buzzword, yet real change lagged. Stepping quietly, he approached, his shadow lengthening. Lena's eyes fluttered open, startled, her body tensing in defense. She'd learned to expect criticism, not kindness, especially from someone like him, wealthy, white passing in his privilege. Would he report her, adding to her burdens? The tension mounted as Elijah knelt, his expression softening, revealing cracks in his armored facade. Lena's heart raced, years of betrayal surging. She pulled Mia closer, ready to explain, to justify her exhaustion. But Elijah's gaze held no judgment, only a quiet acknowledgement of her humanity. The room felt smaller, the air heavy with unspoken histories. He reached out, not to take, but to offer, a simple gesture that hinted at alliance. Lena hesitated, the stakes high, her job, her dignity, her trust. The moment stretched, building toward an unforeseen shift, where one man's awakening could challenge the inequities she'd long endured. Elijah's hand hovered, then gently touched the edge of the blanket covering Mia. Lena's breath caught, every fiber alert to danger. She'd faced dismissal before, for being too emotional, code for caring deeply in a world that devalued black women's labor. Now, with this stranger witnessing her vulnerability, fear gripped her. Elijah's eyes met hers, steady and searching, as if peeling back layers of his own indifference. He whispered something inaudible, but his posture shifted from observer to participant. Lena rose slowly, Mia stirring in her arms, the floor's chill lingering on her skin. The billionaire stood, his height imposing, yet no longer threatening. In that instant, memories flooded him. His mother's tired eyes after long days, the racism she shielded him from. He saw Lena not as an employee faltering, but a pillar cracked by systemic weight. The tension peaked as he extended his hand again, this time with purpose. Lena, conditioned by betrayals, almost recoiled, but something in his gaze held her. He didn't pull away, instead he helped her stand, his touch respectful. The room's quiet amplified their breaths, the nap-time clock ticking like a heartbeat. Elijah glanced around, absorbing the underfunded space, the racial disparities etched into every corner. Lena braced for words of pity or power, but none came. Instead, he nodded towards the door, inviting her to step out, Mia secure in her hold. Outside, in the hallway's dim light, the climax unfolded silently. Elijah's decision crystallizing. He pulled out his phone, not to call the authorities, but to note the daycare's needs. Lena's doubts clashed with dawning hope, the air electric with possibility. Would this be another empty promise, or the spark to ignite change? The intensity built, her future teetering, as Elijah's unexpected resolve promised to upend the injustices she'd long endured. Elijah didn't leave that day unchanged. He returned with resources, funding renovations for the daycare, new cots, better pay scales, and training programs prioritizing equity. Lena, initially wary, saw the shifts, her promotion to lead teacher, fair wages that eased her burdens. The owner, pressured by Elijah's influence, addressed the biases, hiring diversely and fostering inclusion. Lena's story rippled outward, inspiring policy talks in Elijah's circles about supporting undervalued workers. He shared his awakening anonymously, sparking donations to similar centers. For Lena, it meant security, time for her dreams, a voice amplified. Mia thrived, her bond with Lena a testament to unseen care. Elijah visited occasionally, not as a savior, but an ally, his own prejudices dismantled. The floor where Lena had rested became a symbol of resilience, now softened with mats for all. In a world rife with division, one glimpse of humanity bridged the gap. Lena stood taller, her exhaustion replaced by empowerment. The impact lingered, lives touched, systems questioned. What if we all paused to truly see the struggles hidden in plain sight? In recognizing injustice, we unlock the power to heal. Dare we look?